Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. And today I'm going to be taking you guys through a glute focus workout because I myself am a quad dominant girly, and making glute progress has been a struggle. Like, it's so easy for me to grow my quads and not my glutes. I literally take one step and my quads double in size. So finding the right exercises that will isolate my glutes so that my glutes can grow has been a struggle, but I have figured it out. So I'm going to take you guys through a workout routine that is going to isolate the glutes so that your glutes can grow, because I know there are a ton of quad dominant girlies out there. Like, I understand your pain. It's literally so easy for us to grow our quads. We take one step and our quads are huge, and then our glutes are, they're trying to play catch up, but they can't catch up. So in order to really grow your glutes when you are quad dominant, you have to focus on doing exercises that are going to isolate the glutes, because there are so many glute exercises out there that will target the glutes as well as the quads, like a sumo squat, a step up. When you're doing exercises like that, they're targeting your glutes, but they're also targeting your quads. And when you are quad dominant, you'll notice that your quads are going to grow faster than your glutes. So I'm going to take you guys through a workout routine that's going to isolate the glutes so that your glutes can grow. First up, we have hip thrusts, and I really like this exercise because it's so beneficial when you're looking to grow and build your glutes. The hip thrust will really isolate the glute muscles, and that's exactly what we want. When you're looking to build well-rounded glutes, you need to train them in the shortened position, the lengthened position, as well as do unilateral movements, and the hip thrust will train your glutes in the shortened position. Also, a tip for when you're doing your hip thrust, you want to make sure that your feet are pointed straight forward. I used to point my feet slightly outwards because I thought that's how you would get more glute engagement, but later on I actually found out that when your feet are pointed slightly outwards, you're actually getting more quad engagement. And if you do want to get more glute engagement when you're doing your hip thrust, you need to have your feet pointed straight forward. And I did 4 sets of 10 reps for this exercise. I always try to lift as heavy as possible because lifting heavy is what's going to help you get those results. It's going to help you grow your glutes, build the muscle. So don't be afraid to lift heavy. And if you want to know if you're challenging yourself enough, if you're lifting heavy enough, a good rule of thumb is that your last 1 to 2 reps should be difficult. Next up, we have B-stance hip thrust, and this exercise is extremely similar to the first exercise. The only difference is the foot placement. So you're gonna get into that hip thrust position, and then you're gonna place one foot slightly in front of the other. And by doing this, you're going to be able to target each glute individually. It's really important to incorporate unilateral movements into your workout routine so that you can avoid having any glute imbalances. And a glute imbalance is when one glute is bigger and stronger than the other one. And she's a real thing, okay? It's something that I had where my right glute was bigger and stronger than my left one, and to fix that I really had to start doing exercises that would train my glutes individually, and the B-stance hip thrust is my personal fave. I personally prefer the B-stance hip thrust over the single leg hip thrust, and the reason why is that with the single leg hip thrust, I'm always trying to find my balance. I feel like I'm constantly like wobbling around, and I only feel it in my quads for some reason. Like, I don't feel anything in my glutes whenever I'm doing the single leg hip thrust. But with the B-stance hip thrust, on the other hand, I feel it so much more in my glutes, and I feel like I can load a lot more weight because I am more stable. And for this exercise, I did 4 sets of 10 reps on each leg. So far, we've trained the glutes in the shortened position, we've done a unilateral movement, and now it's time to train the glutes in the lengthened position. And a good exercise to train the glutes in the lengthened position are good mornings and RDLs. These two exercises are the exact same movement. The only difference between a good morning and an RDL is the placement of the weight. So with an RDL, you would be holding the weights in your hands and you would be using a dumbbell, or you could use a barbell. With a good morning, the weight would be on your shoulders. So I'm using a reverse hack squat, but you could also use a barbell to do them. One thing that has helped me perfect my RDL and good morning form is thinking of them like a standing hip thrust. So when you're doing your hip thrust, you're obviously hinging your hips down to the ground and then you're driving them up. It's the exact same thing when you're doing an RDL or a good morning. Only difference is your stand. And as soon as I started to think of my RDLs and my good mornings as like a standing hip thrust, my form was literally perfected. And the last exercise that we're going to be doing are going to be glute medius kickbacks. The 3 exercises that we did previously actually target the glute max, which is the largest portion of the glutes. Think of it as like the bottom portion of your glutes. And now we want to target the upper portion so that we can get that well-rounded look. And in order to target the upper portion of the glutes, we're going to need to do glute medius kickback. The way that I personally like to do my glute medius kickbacks and the way that it has gotten me the most results is I like to take about a step away from the machine, and then I'm going to point my foot out at 45 degrees, and I also kick out at 45 degrees. This exercise is honestly tricky. I feel like it's the hardest exercise to teach and learn, but the more you do it, the more you play around with it, the more you'll kind of figure out your own little twist to it. You just have to keep on practicing, but trust me, I know this one can be confusing, it can be frustrating, but you just have to keep on practicing. Once you finally find that sweet spot, you will notice the amazing gains that come from it. For this exercise, I also did 4 sets of 10 reps on each leg. And that is all for today's workout. And yes, 4 exercises is enough to have a complete workout. It's really about quality and not quantity. With this workout routine, you're really going to be able to isolate the glutes and grow your glutes and not your quads. If you stay throughout the entire video, I appreciate you so much. Make sure to comment down below what you want to see next, and I hope to see you in my next video.